Hello there. Welcome to the Beaver moon, the full moon in Taurus, which will be November 5th. So it's soon. You can probably already feel the light changing in the sky. It's getting dark early, but it's also getting brighter and sunnier in the day with the cooler colors in the sky, and the leaves are coming down. So we have more direct sun. I find it a really pretty time of year, even if November can be a bit depressing for some people. For me, it's like the veils are thin and mysticism and spiritual activity is more increased, and I like this time of year. So we're going to dig into the full moon chart. And we've had so much change, so much intensity this fall, and I think we're going to just continue to see it ramping up and get faster. So it means to me we need to really find ways to stay rested and grounded and hydrated and all the rest, to be adaptable to this fast pace of change. Sometimes we're waiting for like the cooler weather up here in Canada anyway, parts of the US or Europe. You wait for the coolness, the darkness, and you come back inside. You can regroup and you can rest. I don't know, this year just isn't slowing down, is it? For any of us. People I know that are really high functioning, organized people are all telling me they're so tired or they're inundated with stuff to do. And I think this is just going to be our new normal, folks. So let's keep that in mind as a full moon approaches, and the intensity is usually more so in a full moon. More activities or more emotions, more potential conflicts in the air with Scorpio, Sun, and Taurus moon. People being strong minded, fixed minded, stubborn, but also passionate. So let's take a look at our chart. First, though, I want to invite you to join my Intuition Cafe. This is my free group on Facebook where we can share about all things to do with developing and trusting your intuition. I also will post little prompts, little questions to get it going. Sometimes people share a lot, sometimes they don't. It's really not, I don't want anybody not joining because you feel like you have to write and post and interact with all these people all the time. Sometimes people do, sometimes they don't. It's more just like by joining, you'll just get little questions, little tips, images. You'll be asked to think in a different way, all designed to help you trust your intuition more. And I'm currently trying to locate places to have Intuition Cafe events. So very likely those won't start till winter. I was hoping to start one in November, but it's too busy. Like I said, I'm too busy. Everyone I know is too busy. I'm gonna try to start setting those up for the winter time and trying to locate good places to have them. Obviously, there's ways to do it on Zoom, which I will also figure out the breakout room thing. That's the intention. That's what I'm putting out there. So join the group Intuition Cafe on Facebook, and otherwise, let's go look at the chart. All right, sharing the screen. There we go. All right, so the key feeling I got just from the first feeling of looking at the chart and the way the aspects are laid out, the feeling of it was, it gives me a feeling of cracking open, of expansion, of breaking out, of breaking free, breaking out, cracking open. So, a chrysalis, think about caterpillar, even flowers, anything that forms in a cocoon or protective casing, and then it bursts out. And so some people won't feel ready to do the cracking open or the expansion, but life's sort of asking us to. And the reason I'm saying that is because we have these beautiful trines. Look at this. We've got big grand trines between Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Mars, Mercury. It's really strong. We also have grand trine with Uranus, Pluto, grand trine with Moon, South Node. And these are all super flowing areas. Now, you also have the tension of Sun opposite Moon, which is typical of any full moon. Tension, opposition. And, that activates. And you can see those red lines. And we also have, it's hard to see because there's so many lines going on, but if you look at the sun across from the moon, now we have a 90-degree angle cutting it. So we have a cross of Jupiter, Pluto crossing our sun moon. So we've got a lot of fixed energy. And thankfully, they're not making full-on squares, not to the sun, but look, Pluto's making a square to Venus, very difficult. People can be creating drama. People can be making problems where there aren't any. They can be, I want what I want, and that's what I want. And that can set up power struggles between your desires and other people's desires. Venus is squaring Jupiter as well. So, lots of challenges to this Venus in Libra. It's also opposing Chiron, Pluto squaring Chiron, Jupiter squaring Chiron. So this is sort of, the overall. I'm going to dive deeper into all of it, but the overall is that you see this red fixed cross and you see this square in the middle of all of the blue that opens up. So, when you've got enormous tension, but you also have free flow around it, that's this chrysalis energy. That's this feeling of like something's coming to a head, something is not, bothering you, not working, oppositional. And maybe you've had enough. Maybe you're ready to move on, break free of something that you normally, would sort of absorb all of the conflict and absorb all of the anger and whatever's going on. Back down from saying what you need or doing what you want. Get angry that people are opposing or not working with you easily, whatever it is. But in this case, there's so much flow with the other planets, the water planets, that you can easily go around this. You can easily just say, you know what? I don't want to get involved in this kind of thing anymore. I don't like this. I'm not going to do this anymore. The grand trine with connecting to Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces, Jupiter and Cancer. Mars just into Sagittarius, Mars, Mercury, and Sag. Like, my goodness, nobody's gonna hold you down from, if you're trusting your gut and you want to say what's true to you, like, holy crap, this is really strong right now. You and the break free feeling though is this. Look, at the very top of the chart, the moon is connecting to the south node in Virgo, right to the top of the chart. There's that one line that just opens it this way. Then we've got the sun connecting to the north node. Isn't that beautiful? Moon south node, sun north node. And they're making trines, but they're going like this. Up and out, up and out. And they connect to the nodes, so it's very karmic. So it's sort of a time when, as I said, you might be drawn back into old familiar battles, arguments, conflicts, disrespect, competition, all that, you know. But some of you will go back into that pattern and go, oh no, this is happening again. Why is this happening? And feel very, demoralized, tired, angry, wanting to give up, perhaps wanting to fight like hell because of this old familiar conflict energy. But the nodes aren't connected to any of the conflict lines. The nodes are connected to the flow in this chart. So what it means to me is it's a time of saying, yes, okay, here's that pattern again. Oh, and you know what? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't want to be accepting the blame for my coworkers anymore, let's say. I don't want to be always at odds with somebody. It's time to, make amends, walk away, or accept, like, agree to disagree, but drop the battle. And so you're going to get a feeling of a gut feeling and of what you are putting up with that you no longer need to. What are you, what's presenting itself that feels old and like outworn and making you weary? That's where you need to let it go. And you don't let go by, well, you can let go by giving up and feeling depressed and withdrawing. That's one way of letting, it's not really letting go, but it's one way to let it go. It's one way people do it is they go, oh, and they cave inwards. Other people, um, stay angry, frustrated, agitated, anxious. Their minds are looping, 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 and they can't get out, you know. And then others, and the advice of this chart is going to be, okay, look at that. This is happening again. This has happened to me a lot of times. I don't like it. I think I've outgrown it. I think I can go around this. I don't think I have to participate in that. I can see it in a different way. I can decide, all right, it's the last time I'm doing this. I'm going to finish my, let's say the coworker one, I'm going to finish working on what we're doing at work with this difficult person, and I will be gracious, but my eyes are open. I'm not pretending things are fine. I'm not taking them to task and arguing over every detail. I'm just acknowledging, oh, here's this pattern again with this person. Finish the task and tell yourself, that's it. Not doing this way anymore. And then you're free. You're free to move forward. You're free for other things to grow and other better things to come in its place, because you can look at your life and go, well, what? Okay, if I don't want to do that again, if I don't want to be in that scenario again, what needs to be different? And very often that relates to boundaries, clarity of communication in the future, boundaries about what you'll do and what you won't do, and how and when and how long, and the rest is really about the art of communicating that in a way that you've said it. So let's say I'm using difficult coworker a lot, so let's just go with that one. You're on a project, team project, difficult coworker, let's say, that's always going, oh, I thought you would have done it that way, passive aggressive comments or something, when clearly they just want it to be their way. So they're challenging yours and putting down your way of thinking, let's say. That's one. Maybe it's deadline frenzy with a coworker. Maybe they just never do things on time, and you're always picking up the ball and you're finishing off the loose ends of their work to make sure that everything on the team gets in on time, because you're absorbing their lack of accountability for their time, for their work. So those are just two scenarios where you can set boundaries in the future. If somebody puts you back with that same coworker on another project, you can say to your boss, look, this person, when we work together, there have been patterns in the work that have made it very difficult to fulfill this job together. Is it possible I could work on a different team? That's one way. That's one proactive way to say, I don't want to live this crap again. Let's see, can I work with someone else? Okay. They might say yes. If you can't, okay. I see you've put me back with so and so on the next team project. I would like you to know that, there's been issues of chronic lateness with this person's deadlines, and the team people feel like they have to pick up the slack for this person quite often. So how would you suggest going forward with this? Do you want to speak to them, or can somebody else speak to them? And then maybe you've got like a boss that just doesn't want to hear it, doesn't want to listen to that. That happens. Then within your team, or within your duo, if it's two of you or if there's a team, you have that conversation with everybody at the beginning. Say, you know, you need to bring things by a certain deadline. We won't be picking up the slack. We will make it obvious that it's you. Well, you can't say that usually at work, but you know what I mean? What I'm getting at is whatever you're facing, whatever the repetitive, hardened, competitive, or conflictual energy is, that if whatever pattern is coming up right now, because Scorpio sun and Taurus moon, it could be very intense and rocky. People could get really like, I'm right, no, I'm right, I'm right, no, I'm right. I've got it in me to outlast you. Oh no, you don't. Like, it can get like that with Taurus, Scorpio. So we don't want to get into these battles, right? Even with Venus square Pluto, sometimes people just, everything was fine and smooth, and then Venus Pluto comes in and says, I wonder what you think about this. And they just drop a bomb in the middle of something that was running fine, because they just want a little drama. They just want love, like a little intensity. They don't like it too relaxed. Or because it's air sign, lots of talking, lots of gossiping, potential Venus and Libra, talking about people in between. Oh, things might be just fine. Maybe you're making plans for your holidays. If you're in the US, you've got Thanksgiving coming up. Canada, we've got Christmas in a little while. Maybe plans are starting and everything seems to be flowing along. And Venus Pluto is going to go, oh, I thought it was her turn to cook at her place. Oh, well, she should. I mean, and on it goes. Venus Pluto drama, gossiping, getting in between, middlemaning, meddling. It's all very possible. Now, the good side with Venus square Pluto, if you want to use that energy productively, would be to spot that and to circumvent it quickly, like I mentioned. Oh, yes, she does usually cook, but she's said that she doesn't really feel like it this year, so we're just gonna roll with that, and that's fine. Done. Doesn't prolong a conflict. So, we need to be a bit strategic, but we also need to just let this good trine come to our feeling here. Jupiter trine in Cancer, very feely, very empathic. Saturn, Neptune making their last pass of Pisces. So, on that level too, that's another reason why I say chrysalis energy, because Saturn and Neptune are like retrograding in Pisces, and they're going to go forward in the winter into Aries and forevermore. And this is the last part of Pisces. Neptune, it's really been there a long time. So it's like a cleanup. It's like a last cleanup going on right now. But because it's trining everything, especially with Mars and Mercury and Sag, which is just going to tell you what it is, just going to call it as it is, say the thing that no one's saying, be a bit blunt, sometimes a bit tactless with that combination, but the truth teller thing's going to come out. And that might be part of what starts a conflict too, is maybe you just finally say something that you haven't been saying forever, and oops, just came out of your mouth now, Mars Mercury. Oops, I said it. Oh well, said it louder than I thought. You have to be honest with yourself. Okay, well, that's true. So it's good that let it come out. Let things be resolved. Stop hiding, stop suppressing. Let things move forward. even if it means not everybody's perfectly on page. So because of this truth teller vibe trining the rest of it, it actually is it's going to feel more liberating to say things. And we're not talking being rude at it for no reason here. We're just saying maybe, maybe a please don't or a said no is going to come out of your mouth that you never normally say. And if you're really honest, because they're trining this last pass of Saturn Neptune, well, you've probably been sacrificing feeling this for a while and now you're just done. So is it maybe a good thing that truth comes out? As long as it's not mean. If it's honest, some people think honesty is mean. There's being brutal and there's being honest. Brutal is not nice. Honest is usually pretty simple and direct. And yeah, it can sting, of course. But I think when people are honest in a nice way, I think most of us can recognize it and get over it and actually be grateful for it down the road. Of course, lots are too immature and they can't, but there are plenty of people who can. So it's really a time of shedding old patterns. And whatever is stirring up or feels old and hard and crusty, and why is this happening? And why am I feeling this way again? And I'm tired of feeling this way, tired of being treated certain ways. Whatever you're tired of is the shell you're busting out of, and whatever comes to you in terms of like, how can I choose something else? How can I open myself up to new and better experiences? How can I say yes to something or someone, people, whatever, relationships that feel better, that feel easier? How can you start to say what's on your mind a little more freely, and allow that to magnetize the people and situations that actually fit you the best? That's where you're going to feel the flow and the busting out of the shell and the realization that no, you don't have to keep doing anything that you've always done. Everything exists on the planet, everything. You can turn your TV onto a comedy show, Comedy Nest, all your life if you want to. And you can laugh and slapstick all your life. Other people will decide, I would like more variety. I'm going to turn on the news. Depends which news source then, what you're being fed, what mindset. But still, you can watch news all your life. You can listen to music and turn the TV off. You can have silence. You can have conflict with people all your life if you want. You can be angry all your life if you want. You can choose to be peaceful and let things go all your life if you want. We all have a variety, but you get what I'm saying. We all have a tendency of something that repeats. And it's a great time to ask yourself, do I want the repeat? Because we are ultimately able to choose not to. We all have it in us. Some people it's easier than others, harder than others, because of all the years of emotional suppression or trauma or things that have not been dealt with. But the ultimate truth, though, is that we do have choice. We do have a choice. So I hope this full moon you're going to take this and not feel defeated by whatever things crop up that are repeating themselves, and instead vow to yourself, this is going to be the last chapter, the last time I do, or I allow, or I'm going to work on my mental habits. I'm going to work on whatever it is. Try to see this Saturn Neptune chapter ending and give yourself, this little window of time till the winter, till the midwinter when it goes into Aries to say, we're closing the chapter where I used to do this or where I used to be this version of myself, and start to choose an easier, more flowing, more self-respecting, self-care related version of yourself. Let's see what happens, you know? All right. I'm going to take a look to the tarot, a little more insight. I just love the lighting right now, the way it is at this time of year. It's so pretty. It's bright and it's soft at the same time in the house. All right, let's take a look. I've got my Rider-Waite today. What else could qualify this full moon? Well, one thing that's happening very close to this full moon is how many bloody elections have gone on. We've had municipal elections in my little town and all the neighboring little towns and our city. And New York City just elected their new mayor. And I'm wondering how many other places had mayoral elections, had municipal elections all at the same weekend, all around the full moon. It's crazy, right? This is extremely activating for change. New leadership across multiple places at the same weekend. This is the full moon. This is crazy. This is big. Anyway. All right, let's take a look. What else comes up for us for this full moon? So we got the Ace of Swords. That's very nice. So that's your Chrysalis energy too, because this is clarity. This is like mental clarity, new ideas that come. You can see the sword has like a crown and boughs around it. Like the greenery suggests fertile thinking, There's little flower petals around it. Can't seem to get the focus of the camera to go on the card. Okay. Anyway, there's very clear and fertile thinking going on. Sometimes there's like aha kind of moments, with the Ace of Swords. And again, swords just slice through, and the ace is like just one clear idea or one strong thing that was said that you say. Then we've got the Eight of Pentacles, which is the Apprentice. It's usually a good card for money. It's a good card for building things slowly, working towards, and an apprenticeship energy means things take time. There's a process. This person, this guy is carving them one by one. It's not an assembly line. It's not an instant factory laser cut. He's doing it one by himself, and he's building something, and they're going up the wall or up the tree. And so he's got sort of a sense of accomplishment because he's building so many things. And it's a really nice card for steady, slow growth, which includes, financial, but also in your learning. And then we've got an Ace of Pentacles. That's very nice too. So with the Ace of Pentacles, you see like there's more detail than the swords. The sword is up in the air. The pentacles are on the ground. And so you see a nice archway, nice garden, nice pathway so you've got like a protected, nice little yard, but you've got like a vista beyond, and you've got the bridge by having a gateway. And the Ace of Pentacles is, the hand it's not like the Ace of Swords where it's like gripping the sword. It's like it's cupping, it's offering you something, it's holding you. So the Ace of Pentacles can be a new job. It can be money coming in as well. I mean, in lieu of all of the stuff I've said, two aces is very, and a slow apprenticeship like build is very positive energy. So Let yourself let go of whatever's heavy on your heart, whatever is aggravating you. Decide to tackle it differently. Decide to walk away or do something differently. Everything's feeling quite a bit lighter. Quite a bit lighter. So let's do little quick messages for each sign for this full moon. I'm just going to do really, I'm going to try to my best to channel quickly, and yeah, I'm not going to labor on what the cards mean. I'm going to go with whatever the messages are for your signs. Full moon messages. All right, Aries, what's your message? Aries, you got the Ten of Swords. So this card, as you can see, he's like full of swords in his back on the beach. It's pretty done. There's something in your life then that you're also just done with. You've got to give it up and let go. If you're hanging on to something, someone, it could be anything. It could be a job, it could be a way you're working, it could be a way you're thinking. You know, it's again, whatever is on repeat, whatever's aggravating you really needs to be let go of. I mean, the Ten of Swords, it doesn't get more done than and dead than that. And if anything, you have been hanging on way past the shelf life of this thing or this person. It's way, 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 way overdue. The first sword was the first message, not 10 of them, you know? So whoever or whatever this is, it's not recent. It's been going on for a while. It's someone you've known for a while, worked with for a while, or if it's like on your own process, your own thinking, it's something really deeply ingrained that you're going to need to take a step back, some rest, and look at and correct. Speaking of hydrating, excuse me. All right, Taurus, what's your message? So you got the Eight of Cups. Yeah, so I mean, this is an intense moon for Taurus and Scorpio, for Leo and Aquarius, because it squares you. So, you know, the moon in this card sort of looks like a crescent moon around a sun. Why is the camera not focusing cleanly? Excuse me, folks. I'm going to try to clean the lens of this camera and see something. See it clearer now? Slightly. Okay. Anyway, I hope you can see it clear enough. So you've got the sun and moon there, and you've got a man that's basically like walking away there. That's too close. He's got all his cups. He's walking away from them. We don't know what's in the cups, you know. Either they've have everything they wanted and they're satisfied and they're walking away. They don't care anymore. Sometimes maybe the cups are empty and there's nothing left and it's time to go. Other times it could be really just dissatisfaction, or it could be just longing to go in a whole different direction. So this is a very clear message for Taurus of like, it's time to walk away and leave something behind. And it's more of an emotional card because it's cups. Yeah, it's more an emotional kind of letting go than an actual walking away from, you know, a person or a job or whatever. It's very likely a relationship related thing where you've got to let go of maybe a conflict in a relationship, or maybe you have to let go that somebody is not as close as you hoped. Could be friendships, could be family. You know, it's on an emotional level for you this time. All right. Yes, Kitty. Gemini, what is your full moon message? You've got the Hangman. Well, the Hangman is like, hurry up and wait. It's you're in suspension, you're waiting. Not things are not happening very quickly, but it's all for a higher purpose because they've got there is a halo around the head signifying enlightenment, which is why you have been suspended. Why are things stopped and slowing down? There's a rebalancing here. It's supposed to show you something important. But of course, Gemini hates to be slowed down and stopped. However, this is a necessary period of time where, yeah, you're gonna be frustrated, but if it's like if you weren't slowed down, you wouldn't learn whatever lesson this is. You wouldn't see what you need to see. When we're moving too quickly, we miss a lot of things. When we slow down, we don't miss a detail. So you're supposed to see the details and gain some sort of further acceptance of yourself, your life, people around you, your role, whatever it's going on. Cancer, what is your full moon message? Yeah, the Seven of Swords. That's in this deck, they consider it a thief or a trickster because he's sort of, he's got his red hat and his red boots and he's making away with 5 of the 7 swords. Some call it stealth, Is he a thief? Is he smart? We don't know why he's taking the swords. Is he stealing them because he needs the money? Is he taking them and leaving too because he's rebalancing some karmic debt owed to him? You don't know. All we know is here he goes, sneaking away with 5 of the 7 swords, looking back. So this gives me this feeling, Cancer, that maybe it's time for you to also stealthily slip away from something. It's sort of like, this isn't in the dark, but it has that feeling of like tiptoeing away under cover of darkness. Is there a way that you need to pull back your efforts or your time given from a place, a community, a relationship, a job? You can still leave a couple of markers, but not give everything. Otherwise, there could be maybe a trickster in your midst. To be careful that somebody isn't sort of taking, more than their share. To keep an eye on that dynamic of like not being duped or used as possible. Leos, what is your message? Oh boy, the devil. Okay. Well, your full moon message is all about temptations and desires and the shadow self. Shadow self is the sides of us or other people we'd rather not see. The devil could be a sexual angle that you don't want to really admit is there. It could be a power dynamic, domination, seduction, manipulation that you don't want to really admit that is part of the dynamic, or that perhaps you're doing or somebody that you want to put on a pedestal is doing. And the devil's a tough card. We all have shadow sides. We all have these potentials. Sometimes the devil is also the card of the addict, of addictions, and greed, all the lovely things, And so your message, Leo, then is You know, if you're breaking out of the chrysalis energy we mentioned, might be a little tougher. You might need to be very honest with yourself about certain sides of your personality or situations and people around you. Admit the shadow sides, and that will set you free. That will let you walk away from whatever's been going on. All right, Virgo, what's your full moon message? Oh, you've got the Hermit. That's very comfortable for Virgo. It is Virgo card. Yeah, Virgo, your message is just like, you know what? We're gonna spend some time alone. It's just like go walk in the woods. Let's stay home, watch Netflix, let's journal, let's read a book, let's listen to a podcast, let's just stay out of the drama. Stay out of the drama. Lay low, spend some time alone. You're going to love it actually. It's going to help you. You don't really have any big illusions of all of these chrysalis moments. You see them. It's just, are you ready to act on them now? Are you ready to go forward and act on it? What you already know, what you already see. So I think for now with the full moon, just like lay low first, decide what you're going to do after the full moon. It's sort of like that message for you. Libra, what's your full moon message? Oh, you got the Six of Wands, a victory card, victory ride. But this feels different though to me because I know that Venus is in your sign and Pluto is squaring you and Chiron is opposing you and Jupiter is squaring you. This actually feels a little more like pride or bravado. It's not so much like, ah, the world won victory and look, everyone's happy and we won and everyone's happy for us. It's more like, a little more like, I won. We're winning. Because you have so many oppositional energies around you, you have to try that extra hard to show your win or your victories or your accomplishments. You're trying a bit too hard right now. Sorry, Libra. Just be careful of not coming across as prideful, boastful, vain. You're allowed your victories. Of course you are. But with Pluto squaring, somebody's going to want to take you down a notch, no matter how beautiful, how wonderful, how peaceful, how lovely a thing you did. Someone's going to go, it's beautiful. It's just too bad it couldn't have been another color. Somebody's going to do something, take a notch out. So just be careful not to roar in return. Hold your victories, your opinions, your tastes, whatever it is, hold them with grace. Don't let people sort of compete or harass you too much and let it bring out the nasty side of you. Okay, geez. Scorpios, happy birthday to all of you in the Scorpio chapter. Scorpio sign, what is your, there you go, you're the Ace of Swords now. Well, we already spoke about that, so I won't reiterate the whole card, but yeah, so Scorpio, your full moon is all about moments of clarity. Oh, insights, clear-headedness, inspiration going forward, and also probably saying things that need to be said and in a strong manner. Yeah, but feels to me there's a justice angle of this for you. I don't know. Maybe maybe something is like long overdue that needs to be said and rectified, and you're going to say it or do it, or investigate or open something up to. So it feels quite powerful, this full moon for you. Sagittarius, what is your message? Oh, yeah, the King of Pentacles. Yeah, he's like surrounded, almost buried in all of his stuff. Look at him. He's on his throne. We can barely see him sitting there because he's just like so many patterns and flowers on his fabric, and all growing and interwoven with the flowers on the ground and the armor and the, yeah, it's a bit excessive. It's a bit excessive. Hmm. He's also not looking at us. He's looking down at his money. He's got his castle, he's very secure, wealthy, doesn't need to work too much, quite indulgent, and just looking down at his money. So I don't think that's representing that many Sagittarians. That might be representing what's bothering you, um, someone else around you, or society's wastefulness and indulgence, entitlement, greed. Your full moon seems to be in relation to that aspect, whether that's companies or bosses or people that you know. And you've got Mars and Mercury in your sign, so you're very likely to say things offering your true opinion to people such as this. Perhaps, some protesting, um, perhaps writing like a powerful or semi-scathing letter that needs to be sent. Just feels like you're taking on this power. You're challenging this power. You're challenging these values and mindsets around you. Capricorn, what's your full moon message? Okay, you've got the Five of Pentacles, so there's a lot of worry. And this card is basically about charity, because they're walking, they're in need, and they're poor and ill, and they need help, and they're walking by a church window where presumably they can find refuge. So charity and refuge. This could be, you could be on either end of it. You might need it. You might be looking for refuge. That could be financially, help wise, somewhere to live, a better doctor, some form of care that you need that's missing. And others of you will be on the other side of it, where you're the one who's the charitable one, who's helping somebody else right now. Or you're in a position to. Yeah. So your full moon, it feels to me like you're going to be sort of challenged on your values, or your thinking about that, about people in different positions than you, different economic realms than you. Whether you're on the giving end or the receiving end, you're going to be thinking about these extremes and power structures in society, and how, things are not fair. And you might be challenged on your thinking about these matters too. You're being challenged to open your mind. And some of you, the challenge will be to ask for help, because Capricorn hates to ask for help. All right, Aquarius, what is your full moon message? Five of Cups. All right. Well, I hate to say it, but there's some sort of pause or breakup, possibly a permanent breakup, but possibly just a hiatus, or a stepping back from a relationship. And of course, the card is disappointment and grief. It's emotional disappointment and grief. So it feels like you're sad because it either can't work with somebody that you wanted it to, or you might be recognizing that there's just not the relationship doesn't have, and isn't going to have what you need. And you have to step back and really reevaluate whether this relationship continues or how, because despite the fact that the cups are there, 3 of them are knocked over that he's facing, but the 2 behind are still standing up, and there's still a little bit of water flowing in front of him. So the emotion's not dead. It hasn't dried up. It's disappointing. They wanted it to be a full-on river with a canoe in there, but it's a trickle. So it's not what you wanted, but it's not all gone. There is something to save, but there's a major adjustment of expectations if it's going to be saved. All right, Pisces. Your full moon message is the 7 of Cups. So you're weighing a lot of options, and you're not sure what the heck's going on right now. Well, you know, Saturn and Neptune in your sign makes sense. Nothing's going to feel particularly crystal clear. So they can represent all kinds of options, right? You could be weighing like 15 options of what to do with your life, and that could include, you know, do I move? Do I sell my stuff? Do I take a class? Do I go part-time at my job but keep it? Or do I find something new? Do I belong to this group anymore? Or do I like only go part-time? Or do I, everything's up in the air right now for Pisces. You're closing a major chapter, karmic chapter. So of course you're evaluating, and of course things are not clear. The options aren't clear. So right now, I think when the 7 of Cups comes up, we have to just not take any huge decisions, actually. Have to just sort of let yourself slowly see one by one the clarity of each option or person, and let it come to you slowly, bit by bit, and you will check off one thing that finally and you don't have to revisit and spin around. If you were dating under the 7 of Cups, or like there's all kinds of new people around, you'd want to be careful. You want to be careful that they might not be presenting themselves. You don't see the whole picture yet. You can't decide. It's too soon, because the 7 of Cups can have illusions, and you don't want to make big life-changing decisions based on any kind of illusions. So for you, it's really like, take lots of walks, journal, talk to friends that you do trust, get your head clear, try to evaluate things, stay grounded and evaluate things, and expect that it's going to take some time before you really have your answers. All right, so this has been an interesting whirlwind full moon video, because I did it differently than usual, and it felt good to me to channel the energy versus teach itemized astrology. So we'll see what happens in the future. All right, if you would like a reading, you can reach me at my website, river-rain.com, or under here in the comments, or on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you want to find me. Wherever you want to find me, I'm here and I can help you. All right, have a good full moon, everybody. See you next time.